Hey everyone, Saul from Three Kingdoms Games here. Now, Wizards' release schedule for the next few months has been fleshed out. So we know all the releases that are happening from May through to August. With some exceptions, I'm sure they'll throw a small product in there or something just to throw us all off and make my list wrong. But that's a whole nother thing. So, for those of you who don't know, War of the Spark has been announced. All they've given us for War of the Spark is a teaser trailer so far, that 1 minute of that citadel with the stained glass, of all these planeswalkers, and then, windows blow out, they cut in, and you see, candles going out. My theories on that I can share another time if you're interested. Leave a comment below. So, War of the Spark, which spoiler season for that should be starting in April. The pre-release for War of the Spark will be April 27th and 28th, with the official release being May 3rd. So this will be the next standard legal set, which I'm curious to see how they're going to wrap up this Bolas arc, and hopefully they, complete this finally. Next up, we have a new product that was announced, which I'm going to talk about more later as well. That is Modern Horizons, which will be a direct-to-modern set. June seems to be their new product month. That's when they released Battle Bond last year, for those of you who are playing at home. To mid to end of May, the spoiler season of that will start, with the pre-release being June 8th and 9th. And this will be not a pre-release kit pre-release, it will be a draft pre-release, with all products being available on that date. And then June 14th is the official release of that. Now, you cut ahead, you have, in July, you have Core 2020 coming. The spoilers for that will start in mid to end of June. July 6th and 7th is the pre-release. July 12th is the official release, and this will be a standard legal set. Core set, pretty standard. They always kind of release them around the same time in July. And then in August, starting towards the beginning of August, we'll get the spoilers for it, but the August release is Commander. Commander 2019 is coming, August 23rd. Now, this is a crazy tight release schedule for those of you out there who want to collect everything Magic related. This is insane, but you know what? I don't mind it. There's lots of products for me to cover. That means you're going to be seeing lots of me doing my, set analyses and all my random ranting, which you all love apparently. Some of the highest viewed videos on this channel are me going off about something in some way. So, cool. Now, I want to talk about Modern Horizons today. Modern Horizons is the first direct-to-modern product they have done that is not just a straight-up reprint product like a Modern Masters. This is a completely brand new set. There is 254 cards in this set. It will be draftable. Now, the new cards are new, obviously. The reprints, though, aren't modern reprints. They are reprints of things that have yet to be modern legal. So these are pre-2003 reprints. So these are legacy cards being injected now into modern. That is huge. That means they might even up the power level of modern, which is insane. Now, they spoiled 2 of the new cards at the press conference for this. For those of you who weren't watching, it was entertaining. It was okay. People talking about, new product and things that could be used on and how it was to, test it and things like that and all the variables of it. So the 2 cards they spoiled are Sarah the Benevolent, which is the first Planeswalker they spoiled. The art is amazing on this card. It is 4 for a 4 loyalty Planeswalker. Her first ability is +2. All your creatures that with flying gain +1/+1 till end of turn. In other words, it's a 1-turn version of Sarah's Aviary. -3, you put a 4/4 Flying Angel with Vigilance onto the battlefield, i.e. Sarah Angel. And then -6, which is the ultimate, you get Worship. Worship, for those of you who don't know, is whenever you would take damage, if you have a creature on the field, if it were to reduce you below 1, you're reduced to 1 instead. Now, normally Worship is, answerable because it's an enchantment. This is an emblem. This is just sticking around because they've given us no good way yet to interact with emblems. So I like the flavor of this card. Also, the fact that it alts the first turn it comes out, or sorry, the turn after it comes out, is insane. I think that's the first time I've seen this on a Planeswalker. I could be very wrong with this, but that's the first time I've seen it on a Planeswalker. So I think this is a really strong card. Next up is the Cabal Therapist. It is 1 for a 1/1 with Menace. So already okay, if you wanted to Voltron it in some way. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, you can sack a creature and name a non-land card. Your opponent reveals their hand and discards all copies of the named non-land card. So this is a Cabal Therapy that is repeatable on a creature. Now, games 1, this isn't as strong. It's a little bit of a guessing game when you're doing it. 2 and 3, you have a lot better knowledge of what's in your opponent's deck, so this could be devastating. Some of the other stuff they said they're going to be doing with this is, depending on how the story is told through it, because they tell stories across sets usually. If this is a canonic story set, where it's something like, the Ravnica stuff, where you have a beginning, middle, and end kind of the story told across the set or the blocks or whatever. If this is a non-sequential story kind of set, you'll be able to do a lot of different flexible things, as well as talk about stuff that maybe hasn't been explained in Magic's history better, which would be really cool to me. Like seeing Sarah for the first time. That's really cool. Seeing her as a Planeswalker makes sense. Now, there is other theories that we're going to have to see unravel, and this will come closer to, September, though. And that is, so this is giving Modern a big boost by bringing this. And now they're going to bring in a bunch of legacy cards into Modern through this. Maybe there's going to be Daze or Counterspell or other stuff. And that's going to jump the power level significantly of Modern without them having to break Standard, which is usually what they have to do when they want to print cards to help support Modern. Now, in doing this, what they could be doing is Standard Plus is coming in September. Now, Standard Plus, for those of you who don't know, is going to be a non-rotating format for Arena. They haven't officially said what the details are yet, but it might be something like Ixalan Forward, non-rotating. Other people think it's going to be Aether Revolt or Kaladesh Forward, non-rotating. I don't think it's going to be that, just because they refunded people whatever they put into it if they physically bought anything when they switched to the open beta, which was at rotation last year. So what they could be doing is, since the Modern entry level has gone so high because of how much decks cost, it's just a fact. Modern's decks cost a lot of money now. As a company that's producing a game, they need to be cognizant of this fact. So they need to be constantly trying to get new players, which is where people like me, people who work in local game stores, thrive. We get them new players. Legacy, for a long time, new players haven't been jumping into Legacy the same way. It's hard to get a hold of Legacy cards. So what they might be doing is, with these reprints into Modern, into Modern, is going to attract some of the Legacy players to play Modern if they don't already, or new players that might be interested in Legacy now might be more interested in Modern. Subsequently, Modern still can keep its threshold where it is. Standard Plus will come out and be the new Modern. And then you have Standard, which will be, the jump on point for a lot of people. It's Standard. It is what it is. So these are some of my thoughts on this. I might go, I could go further down this rabbit hole if you're interested. Leave a comment below if you are. But there you have it. The new release schedule, as well as a little bit of an insight into what is Modern Horizon. You can follow us on all major social media. That's in the description box below. You can follow our blogs. They come out weekly at threekingdomsgames.com. You can always stop into store at either Markham or Toronto, see what's going on. I'll see you next time.